Getting interesting. It's the motherfucking player haters. Oh, yeah. That's right, boys. It's getting interesting. Holy shit, fuck. Okay? Half a game separates Walker from myself and Josh. Half a game. Furthermore, half a game separates us from Jason. Okay? Okay. Shit's getting interesting. Shit's getting really interesting because Eric, Jesus, and Brian are still not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Now, Eric does have the most ground to make up, but his team has been on a tear recently. And it doesn't look like he's going to stop. I can tell you again, Brian, I think you trading away Vladimir Guerrero Jr. might be your worst trade ever because that dude has been going ape shit. Okay? Let's recap last week and get into this week because week 16, go time. Okay? It's gone though. So we're on to week 17. I was telling the lovely wife that we only have 5 weeks left before our playoffs. 5 weeks. Now, last week happened. Okay, and we'll get into it. But holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. Going to talk about week 17 and want to talk about something that I brung up in the chat last week, and I just still want to fucking harp on it. Okay. I just think it needs more discussion. I think we should revisit this. Okay. I think it needs to be talked about. But let's go. Let's get into it. Last week, I believe I dubbed the matchup of the week was going to be Trippin' Billy's and Josh. This was simply because Josh is where he's at now. He's now tied with me. He's at risk of losing his playoff position. But again, the way that it is right now, it's a 3-way race, maybe even a 4-way race right now between myself, Jason, Josh, and Walker. Testicle hair closeness, okay? But again, furthermore, those people that are facing off against Nick are not really doing the Lord's work on Sunday, okay? It's the Lord's day. Because going into Sunday, Nick was going to lose. And that dude is only 6 games ahead of Jason. 6. That's it. A margin that close. We could even be talking about going into week 22, Nick not even being included in the playoffs. And nothing would please Walker more than to kick his ass out of the playoffs. That's how close this is, okay? That's how close it is. And Brian is only, what is that? My math is terrible. 12 and a half games back. 12 and a half games back. In 5 weeks, he could make that ground up. Okay? Again, Eric, I know you're in on this, but you're 10 and a half games back from Brian. Therefore, you're 22 and a half games back. But Eric's like, crazier things have happened, bro. Let's go. Keep going. So last week we saw Trippin' Billy's and Josh. Honestly, up until about the weekend, neither of these teams looked like they belonged in the playoffs. Now, we all know that, Shane's just going to hit a home run every time somebody fucking farts in a shopping mall. I don't know where the fuck that came from, but Josh struggled to even hit one more home run than his one home run. I think he got 2 in the last day, which was Sunday. But it doesn't matter how well you do. It's how well. Oh, Shane, that's cool. That's a cool picture of your little thing. It's the hat that we all got from our first from your first ever baseball game. So cool, man. I like that. I don't think I've ever noticed that. Anyways, moving on. Squirrel. So, but yeah, this was not really Josh's week, but when you look at it, the numbers were pretty much close in a lot of categories. Josh lost by 8 runs, by 8 RBIs, by 1 stolen base, the OBP and the average. But again, everything went Trippin' Billy's way, as it will pretty much offensively for the foreseeable future. Pitching, these two guys were relatively close, 0.30 in the ERA. That's how close it was. 2 wins, 2 quality starts, and neither one of you guys could muster up the courage to get more than 1 save plus hold. Edwin Diaz got you 1, and that was enough to take that category. With names like Holmes, Hoffman, and Mentor. Well, you ain't going to get any from, Mentor, that's for sure. Come on, bro. The Braves are almost pretty much cooked, fried. But yeah, last week, Nick faced off against old Scott, and this one was pretty close. 6-5. And I want to say again, it came in the final hours of Sunday where Nick actually was able to take the lead. Scott struggled mightily in the pitching department, whereas he didn't get 1 win at all. But again, these two guys struggling to get saves plus holds, 3 between the two of them, and it went Nick's way. But look at the RBIs, by 1. Stolen bases, he ran away with them. But when you have the fastest guy in baseball, that's likely to happen week in and week out. But he only won by 1 run. And again, I think that came off a home run. And he won by 1 RBI. That's how close it was. Razor thin. If he doesn't get that home run, it's tie city, okay? And who knows how many games Nick is only above us. So we need people to start doing the Lord's work hard and all the way up until Sunday. Oh, look at Eric facing off against Sean. Sean's got a, fairly decent team, and I'm going to face off against him, and he's just going to do nothing but go off this week. But Eric, look at that. 16 home runs, but he only won RBIs by 1. By 1. He's got all that power and not a good average. Almost 0.100 was the difference between their averages. The Hitman's got people that are going to hit, like Royce Lewis, Marcus Simeon, this Jackson Merrill kid, just people getting on base. But if it wasn't for Francisco Lindor and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I really don't know if Eric survived this week. But he's got him. I believe, did you draft Francisco Lindor, Eric? I can't remember, but I think you did. So he's been loyal to holding on to him. Eric's been plagued the most by injuries here recently in the pitch years. And it's so crazy because it's like I trade him 1 and then he goes on the DL or IL, excuse me. He also then receives Max Fried. And during the All-Star break that trade was made, and then guess what happens? He goes on the IL. He's now got a relief pitcher that just got put on the IL. But Eric, you have moves. I mean, I get that you want to hold on to these pitchers, but what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? That's just my question, because you're not going to compete a lot in the pitching categories, especially wins, strikeouts, and quality starts with 4 starting pitchers. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, moving on. Ray did not lose, but she did not survive the Tortured Baseball Department streaming. That's right, Jason. We all saw it. We all knew it was coming. You were going to stream. It's fine. They're your moves, right? Whatever. You do it. But you had to go out there, and I believe you grabbed like 3 or 4 starting pitchers maybe throughout your time period. I mean, looking at all that, you grabbed Birdsong. Kodai Senga came and went, and now he's back on the IL for 60. So you probably could drop his punk ass because he's not coming back. I'm not even sure if I think that move was just probably made today or something. But yeah, fucking a shitload of pitching categories. And it maybe kind of backfired a little bit because you lost ERA. The whip was super close for you two. But for the most part, you didn't lose as bad. Therefore, you didn't lose your spot with your seat and chip at the table. So, but because of all these pitchers that you have stashed up, you're losing out. Well, that's the last time she gets the invite to sit next to me while I record this video.
I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry.
Rude ass. Anyways, when you got all these pitchers, this is what happens. And now you're waiting for batters to make their moves. Speaking of that, a lot of trades are happening right now. We see Jazz Chisholm. I had no clue that Jazz, I guess with it being an East Coast team, they probably were like, put his ass on a fucking plane right now. It's Miami to New York. That's an hour and a half, 2-hour flight easily. He can be here and play tonight. I didn't think that was going to be a thing, but I want to say that they have like 3 days to report. So, but he took 3 hours and he got up there and contributed, and he's been contributing now. So, but, getting a home run off of a catcher, is that really, whatever. Let's move on to Jesus and Brian. Brian's obviously been nipping at my heels, but like my GIF said, and ironically, like his picture that is the Joker, Agents of Chaos, sometimes you just got to do it yourself. Can't rely on anybody else. I was hoping that Brian would assist me last week in defeating Jason and narrowing the gap, and he just didn't do it. And this week, wait, was it last week that Brian played? Let's see. Was it last week? Yeah, and you did actually do the job. So thanks, Brian. What I was referring to with my GIF was actually Ray helping me, and she did not. She did not. She by one game did she? But Jesus, man, again, he's got a pretty decent team, but this was close. I mean, 4 strikeouts, 2 wins, 2 quality starts, was not good in the runs department, only could get 16. And then, but, they kind of flip-flopped here. But Brian, again, is still not out of this by any stretch. I don't believe, in looking at it, that any team is actually officially eliminated from even being considered for the playoffs. I guess because of the gap is still, if these teams that are down the bottom, Sean and Scott, win by 12 for the rest of the season, 5 weeks, presumably there's a chance that they could get in. So as far as I know, they're not officially eliminated. Just by my eyes, they could be. They are. And last but not least, myself and Walker did battle. And let me tell you, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Thanks, Walker, for letting me tap that ass. Okay, because I beat the fuck out of you in some categories. Now, did you make it interesting towards the weekend? Okay, sure. I beat you by 6 runs. All right. But I beat you by almost double the home runs and almost 25 RBI. Couldn't hold a candlestick. Ketel Marte went off last week. And then you got not 1, but 2 weeks of back-to-back Brent Rooker all up in your fucking face. Just all up on you. I'm sorry, man, but that was the way the trade world went. Should have never dropped his punk ass, and that was a dumb mistake, and it cost me to get him back. But yeah, and then we got this Lawrence Butler that was free of charge. And what I really was smiling about last week, from ear to ear, was the fact that, in my opinion, contributing factors were waiver wires that I didn't have to pick up. I feel like the Dos Equis guy right now. And by contributing factors, I mean AJ Puck. I didn't pick him up. He was given to me. That dude gave me a tying win in the pitching category. And then ultimately, with me sticking with my gut and going with Carlos Rodon, who started my week out beautifully with 10 strikeouts and a complete game shutout. He shut out Tampa Bay. No, he gave up a run. Anyways, he had a good game. All right. And going up against the Boston Red Sox, I mean, he gave up 2 solo home runs. But other than that, looked pretty damn good. Had I not gone with my gut and gone with fear and said what I said about if I'm winning 9-2, but then when Shane, I have to give kudos to Shane. Thank you, sir. If it was not for you posting that graphic of me being down by 1 game had that Yankee game not started, you posted a graphic that showed if the scores stay 9-2. I did the math and said, wait a minute. If I win 10-2, I will then be better than Walker. I did not know that I actually would be considered for a playoff spot if the playoffs were this week. But, shut up. But your graphic made me decide to stick with him. And I'm glad I did. Because after he got that dub, yours truly. Schwellenbach was a free guy, free of charge. Thank you very much. Had a hell of a fucking game. And Jose Budo had a hell of a fucking series. And I've now adopted, I'm all on board, relief pitchers matter. 4 save plus holds from Emmanuel Clase. And guess where I got that motherfucker from? Walker. How's that taste, Walker? Tastes good? They got him from you, baby, in that trade. And guess what? 4 save plus holds. Now, I still beat you in save plus holds by 1. But it just looks better on paper that I destroyed you by 5. So, that's how that went. And that was razor thin and super close in the ERA, too. So, it just felt good to defeat you, my friend. But I know, you know, we both know. Now, you're going to say, yeah, but you had pitching stats from Manaea, Suarez, Bassett, Rodriguez, and Crawford. So, you had pitching stats from Castillo and Miller until he got injured. So, yeah. Fuck off. 10-2 was our final score. Now we look ahead to week 17, which is what we're in right now. We're balls deep into it. It's 10 o'clock at night. This will probably not even make it out onto the YouTube channel until about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Who the fuck knows? But right now, myself and Sean are facing off. I've gotten 2 beautiful home. I got another home run. Willie a dumbass. Let's go. Oh, and Reese Hoskins sitting right there. What a fucking douche. Anyways, nice. Starting the week off. I like how Wheeler comes in. See, there's Budo pitching. Wheeler comes in and says 12.60 ERA. Well, Logan Gilbert says, I'll see your 12.60 and raise you 23.63. Hell of a game. Hell yeah. That's awesome. I also love how it's 14-7 in that game, and my Rafael Devers has 1 fucking run. What are you doing over there, dip throat? Come on, man. Do something. Jesus. This is an ass beating, too, by the Yankees. Man, that Jazz. And he's looking to play third now? That's crazy. That's going to be good shit. And now look at that. It's 8-1. What just happened? How did it happen? Oh, a stolen base. Understood. All right, moving on. Don't need to give you live updates. Myself and Sean will face off against each other. Trip and Billy's will face off against his bro, Mandalorian, 7-2 right now in that score. Guess what's going to happen every 5 fucking minutes that there's baseball? Home run, home run, home run, home run, home run. There's going to be a GIF for every fucking player that he's got. Bryce Harper's going to get 5. Jose Altuve is going to get 2. Noah Arenado is going to get 1. Corey Seager is going to get 4. Aaron Judge is going to get 9. And guess what we're going to see? A fucking text through our league chat from Trip and Billy's that says, oh my gosh, Corbin Carroll isn't doing anything this week. Shut the fuck up. You feel attacked, Shane? Shut the fuck up. How's that for attacking you? I did it twice. I do love seeing Logan Gill with that 5 And then, you know, your bros got Yanir Rodriguez getting a 40.50. Jesus, fuck. Moving on. Benchwarmers is facing off against Eric. I know what Eric's thinking right now. I am about to ruin this dude's week. Josh is saying otherwise. They've already both hit 2 home runs between the two of them. Josh is like, my boys were staying quiet. Look at that Anthony Volpe. I traded his ass to you, bro. Play him because apparently he wants to be on your team and not on mine. If not, give him the fuck back to me because I need a shortstop. Then again, Willie Adames said, shut the fuck up. Running out of breath. Mikasa, Sukasa, and Jesus. Jesus! If anybody is going to do the Lord's work, it's you, Jesus. Come on, Jesus. Get up in there and destroy this motherfucker because you're already doing a fantastic job. It's Monday and you've got 9 runs, 6 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. Do you also have a partridge and a pear tree? Huh? Jesus. Do the Lord's work, please, for the rest of us. I don't know why, but the person that holds this Franklin does not need to have any more chips than he already does at the table. Get him out of here. Because if he's out of the playoffs, guess what's coming back to this great state? The fucking Franklin. And I'll pay for the shipping and handling. Let's go. Ray's back here saying it's coming into our house and it's going to have my name on it. No. Guess who's standing in the way saying, nah, lady? Brian. Because Brian is facing off against, and look at my beautiful bride back there with a home run from Westberg, Ozuna, and Candelario. And again, every single one of you cock-sucking thunder fucking cunts can kiss my ass when you say to me that, oh, guess what? Jerkson Profar isn't in the same league as Yordan Alvarez. Check your fucking stat columns, dicks. Get back to me when you see that, oh yeah, well, Jerkson Profar is having a hell of a year.
And shut your fucking face whenever you tell me who I can trade and who I can't.
You heard it from the Ray's mouth. She's not a horse. This week, though, there is only one matchup. If there's a matchup, there's a matchup. And that matchup is the matchup you need to be paying attention to. It doesn't involve me. It doesn't involve Eric. It doesn't involve your mom. It doesn't involve the person down the street delivering your fucking mail. It involves Jason and it involves Walker. Because these two gentlemen right now, they have entered a cage and they are ready to rip apart each other's heads off. Despite their friendship, these two guys, they understand what's happening. And I literally just seen before my eyes the score change from 5-5 to 5-4 in favor of Jason. Already, Jason has set the bar with 3 home runs. It feels like 3 home runs is the name of the game, and 2 home runs in one game is also the name of the game. Ryan Mountcastle and Jose Ramirez doing the Lord's work. But Walker is saying, I've got to pull my shit out of my dick. I don't know what that means. But in layman's terms, it means if I fucking lose like I did last week to Casey, I might be out of this bitch. And you might be. That's the matchup of the week. That's the matchup of the week. There isn't another matchup. All other teams, all other matches, they don't matter. They don't fucking matter right now. That's the matchup. I can't decide who I want to do the Lord's work. Do I want Walker to do the Lord's work to get Jason out of my way? Or do I want Jason to keep Walker out of contention? I don't know. I'm torn. But I can tell you what. Jason wants Jason to win, and Walker wants Walker to win. That's it. That's your matchups of the week. now that I'm on this beautiful fucking animated roll, last week I mentioned something, and I feel like it did not get its due with me in front of the camera. Babe Ruth and his fucking home run record is bullshit. That's it. Bottom line. When you read the article and when you watch the video that I posted, he apparently actually hit a home run longer than the one that is quote unquote recorded. Okay. So Babe Ruth has this home run distance record of, hold on, because I got to pull it up. Generating. Longest home run in MLB history is considered to be 575 feet, hit by Babe Ruth. However, some say that Ruth may have hit a home run over 600 feet. So I did some research, okay? Here's the research that I did. An eighth of a mile is 660 feet, okay? 660 feet. There apparently was a day when Babe Ruth came down to Florida in Tampa and hit a home run 587 feet. There's actually a monument, a sign. It's even a tourist attraction down there in Tampa that says Babe Ruth came here and hit a home run 587 feet. Okay. Here's why I have a problem with this. Number one, this is in history. This is a history book, okay? This is in Major League Baseball. I would imagine that this is actually in the Baseball Hall of Fame Museum, okay? Where you are trying to convince me, a baseball fan, that now has logistics and statistics and the ability to measure a baseball, how hard it is hit, within a matter of the literal time from when it is connected with the bat to where it lands. And you want to try to tell me that in 1921, they had the technology to measure 575 feet without there being any sort of manipulation done to a baseball before they got out to it. Stop and think for a minute. Where did he probably hit this home run? Possibly New York. I don't know. But then you want to tell me that, and it even is in the accounts of the home run hit in Tampa, that if you watch the video, that some people believe that it landed at about 506 feet, which is more believable, and then it rolled. So it rolled another 81 fucking feet? Okay, but you're trying to tell me that this young man, and it also says here that he may have hit one over 600 feet. He almost hit a home run an eighth of a mile. An eighth of a mile. With, number one, the fact that he hit one, he was using a bat that they do not use today. The size and weight of that bat was, I believe they said it was a 42-inch bat. Most bats these days are about 33 inches. And so it was almost 10 inches longer. So therefore it was going to be heavier. He did not look like he was a fit gentleman at all. Not to say that fat people can't fucking put their weight into a home run or fat people can't hit home runs. But you mean to tell me with the steroid era of Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, that they couldn't hit a home run longer than this gentleman here? And they're saying that in 1921 that he crushed by almost 70 feet longer than any recorded home run ever, that his home run is the longest ever? Come on. I respect the fact that Babe Ruth may very well be one of the best baseball players that has ever walked the earth. But I am not going to sit here and be bamboozled into believing that this motherfucker hit a home run that fucking long, an eighth of a mile. I'm not going to believe it. I won't believe it. Strike it from the history books. And I also have a problem with the fact that the very next person that's on the list of the longest home run is Mickey Mantle. Them New York people are fucking liars. That's all I'm going to say. I'm at my 30-minute mark. You guys have a great rest of your week. Peace. I'm out. It's the motherfucking